Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. Last video I have completed about the replenishment of stock and the stock levels. So in order to control the inventory, different techniques are applied. One of the technique is regarding stock levels. How much maximum level, minimum level, average stock level, reordering level, danger level. All these levels are fixed by the storekeeper for every item of inventory, so that there should neither be excessive inventory nor there should be shortage of inventory. If there is shortage, then definitely the production may be held up. If there is excessive inventory, money will be blocked unnecessarily, on which carrying cost will be more. So to control that, all the stock levels I have explained in the last video. So if you have not watched, I suggest you go to the playlist of my channel, select the subject operations management, select the videos of stores control, stores inventory management. Now in this video, I'm going to explain very important point, that is economic ordering quantity, EOQ. Many problems are there which are based on this concept of EOQ. So before going to solve the problem, you must know the concept. What is the meaning of the term EOQ? Why it is calculated? What is the formula for calculating EOQ? What are the assumptions on the basis of which EOQ formula is derived? And what are the limitations of this EOQ model? All these things I'm going to explain in this video. So before starting ahead, take the screenshot of the points which I have written on the board, then I'll explain. Come on, now we'll start first of all the meaning of the term EOQ. Before that, we'll begin with one of the basic decision in inventory management is that balancing of cost of inventory investment against those of placing inventory replenishment orders. That means the storekeeper or the business has to make a balance regarding the cost of investment made in inventory and the cost in replenishing the orders. That means two costs the business have to incur. One cost is the cost on replenishing the order. That means placing the order with the supplier. And the second cost is the cost incurred on carrying the inventory in the stores. So a balance should be made between these two costs. The question to be answered is, how much should be ordered? Should we order in bulk quantity? Then what will happen? Our orders will be less. For example, for the whole annual requirement, we have placed only one order. The ordering cost will be incurred only once. But the carrying cost will be huge because the whole year's inventory we have purchased at one time. And the whole inventory of the year is kept in the stores. So what will happen? The carrying cost will increase. So here, the question is, should we purchase in bulk quantity or should we purchase in smaller quantities? That is the question. Now, the right quantity to order is that which best balances the cost related to number of orders against the cost related to the size of the order placed. That means two costs are there. The cost incurred in placing the order and cost incurred in carrying the size of the inventory. A balance is struck because there is inverse relationship between these two costs. If we apply frequent orders, then ordering cost will increase, but our carrying cost will be less because small quantity we are holding in the stores. If we purchase in large quantity, the ordering cost will be incurred only once, very less ordering cost. But the carrying cost will be more because huge inventory we are carrying in the stores. So we have to strike a balance between these two costs. When these costs are balanced properly, the total cost is minimized and the resulting ordering quantity is called economic lot size or economic ordering size. So ultimately, we have to make a balance between these two costs, that is ordering cost and carrying cost. Both are inversely related. If we want to control the ordering cost, carrying cost is increasing. If you are controlling the carrying cost, ordering cost is increasing. So we have to strike a balance. So we have to find out at which quantity, at which lot size, there is a balance between these two costs. And this quantity at which the total of carrying cost and ordering cost is minimum is called EOQ, economic ordering quantity. So EOQ is the size of the order of material at which the aggregate of the cost of procuring the inventory and the cost of holding the inventory is minimum. This is the complete definition of the term EOQ. So economic ordering quantity is that quantity to be ordered to the supplier at which the aggregate of the carrying cost and ordering cost will be minimum. That means the total of ordering cost and carrying cost will be minimum at that quantity, and that quantity is called EOQ, economic ordering quantity. So EOQ is one of the oldest and the most commonly known inventory control technique. Many techniques are there, but commonly used, most famous method of inventory control is EOQ control. It is used by a large number of organizations today. This technique is relatively very easy to use. Other techniques are little bit complicated, but EOQ is the simple to understand, easy to calculate technique. Determination of the quantity for which order should be placed is one of the important problems concerning with efficient inventory management. So every inventory management problem, the main problem is regarding how much quantity to be ordered at a time. Whenever we want to place the order with the supplier, what quantity we have to place the order. That is the important point. That is the important problem every business will face. EOQ refers to the size of the order which gives maximum economy in purchasing any item of raw material. Maximum economy means our cost, inventory cost will be the lowest. So that economic ordering quantity will give you that size of order at which we'll get maximum economy in procuring the material. It is fixed mainly after taking into account the following. Mainly EOQ depends on two things, ordering cost and carrying cost. So what are ordering cost? It is the cost of placing an order and securing the supplies. The cost incurred in placing the order and receiving the goods. That is called ordering cost. Depending, it varies from time to time depending on the number of orders placed. More orders, more ordering cost. Less orders, less carrying cost. Some businesses are there which will give only one order throughout the year. Other businesses, they will give monthly orders. Means in 1 year, 12 orders are placed. So ordering cost will increase when more orders are placed. And ordering cost will be less when less orders are placed. So the more frequently the orders are placed, the greater will be the ordering cost. Now carrying cost. The cost incurred to carry the inventory or hold the inventory in the stores. In the stores, you have to pay the rental charges, you have to pay insurance, you have to pay for security of the stores, you have to pay for insurance premium, similarly deterioration loss, obsolescence loss. All these are the cost incurred in holding the inventory. So it is the cost of keeping items in stock. It includes interest on investment, obsolescence losses, storekeeping cost, insurance premium. Few examples are given of carrying cost. So by considering ordering cost and carrying cost, we derive the formula for EOQ. Now, the larger the value of inventory, the higher will be the inventory cost and vice versa. If you keep more inventory, more carrying cost, less inventory, less carrying cost. The former cost may be referred as cost of acquiring. That means ordering cost. Ordering cost is also known as cost of acquiring, and carrying cost is also known as cost of holding. Right? The cost of acquiring decreases while the cost of holding increases. That means there is inverse relationship between ordering cost and carrying cost. If you have more ordering cost, you will have less carrying cost. If you have less ordering cost, you will have more carrying cost. A balance is therefore struck between the two opposing factors, and the EOQ is determined at a level which aggregate the two cost is minimum. So ultimately the business has to make a balance. That means both the cost should be at its minimum. So EOQ formula will give you that quantity to be ordered at which the ordering cost and carrying cost aggregate will be minimum. The following formula is used. What is the formula for EOQ? EOQ is equal to 2CO by I under root, where EOQ, economic ordering quantity, C stands for annual consumption, O stands for ordering cost per order, I stands for carrying cost per unit per annum. So by having these three items, C, O, I, we can be able to calculate EOQ. Easily we got the value of quantity, EOQ quantity we can easily get by using this formula. But this formula depends on a number of assumptions. What are the assumptions? In examination, a theory question will be asked, what is EOQ and what are the assumptions of EOQ? What is EOQ? What are the limitations of EOQ model? So if you watch this video thoroughly, then definitely you can be able to write the theory question on this EOQ. What are the assumptions? The first assumption, demand or usage rate is deterministic, that is known with certainty and is constant over time. C stands for annual consumption. How many units are used, required, consumed? That is deterministic. That is deterministic means known in advance with certainty. We are sure that how many units of material we require in the next year or in the next month. It is completely known. That is one of the assumption. Then only we can use EOQ. Second, inventory is replenished immediately when the stock level reaches exactly zero. Consequently, there are no stock shortage. The inventory will never be negative. That means whenever the inventory reaches zero level, immediately it will be replenished without any loss of time. There is certainty that as quickly as possible the inventory will be replenished without any loss of time, without inventory becoming negative. Lead time is known as unfixed. Lead time means the time gap between placing the order and receiving the goods. That is always fixed, that will not change. That means normally if we say 1 week time, so definitely in 1 week time we can be able to replenish the stock. We can be able to get the stock. Ordering cost is linearly related to the number of orders per year. The ordering cost will have linear relationship. That means if one order 100 rupees, two order 200 rupees, three orders 300 rupees, this should be linearly related. But in real practice it may not be so. Because when we give frequent orders, we may get some discount. In that case, our ordering cost may be lower. But here, assumption is the ordering cost is linearly related. That means there is proportional relationship between number of orders and ordering cost. Next, quantity discounts are not allowed. That is, purchase price or cost price is constant. Another assumption of EOQ model is there is no quantity discount. Whether we purchase in small quantity or we purchase in large quantity, the purchase price or the cost is remaining fixed, constant. The supplier is not allowing any quantity discount. That is also one of the assumption. But in reality, it may not so. In reality, normally when we give larger orders, the supplier may give some discount. So, but EOQ model says this is the assumption. That means the EOQ model formula is based on these assumptions. What are the assumptions? Demand. Demand is deterministic. Already we know in advance how much quantity is consumed. Secondly, inventory replenishment. Immediately the stock will be replenished without any loss of time. The inventory shortages will not occur. Lead time is fixed. Ordering cost is linearly related. And lastly, quantity discount not available. These are the assumptions. Now, limitations. This EOQ model has many advantages. It is widely used technique of deciding how much quantity to be ordered at a time. But there are some limitations. The assumptions itself are the limitations. Because most of the assumptions are unrealistic. It is not practical. So when it is not practical, then definitely our result of EOQ will not be as exact as we expect. So here several simplifying assumptions in the derivation of the EOQ formula and the difficulty in measuring cost naturally give rise to quite a few objections. That means these assumptions itself will give the objections that these assumptions may not be true. The demand is neither known with certainty nor is uniform in practice. There may be fluctuation in price and cost. See, the demand, that means the material requirement, is not deterministic. Sometimes the demand for material may be more, sometimes the demand for material may be less. Example, the production will fluctuate. When the production fluctuates, the demand for material will also fluctuate. It is not constant. So when the demand is uncertain, not deterministic, then how we can apply this EOQ? That is one of the objections. Then prices may not be same. That means the purchase price of material. We think that the purchase price of material remain constant, but in reality, the purchase price may fluctuate. Next one, the ordering cost is difficult to measure and is also not linearly related. Just now I told you. One of the assumptions says the ordering cost is linearly related with the number of orders. If one order 100 rupees, two order 200, three orders 300. But in reality, it may not be so. Because when we give more frequent orders, we may get some discount. Discount in transportation, discount from the supplier. Like this, no linear relationship may exist between ordering costs. And next one is the inventory carrying cost is even more difficult to measure. It's not so easy to calculate the carrying cost or holding cost of inventory. In this holding cost, we have so many costs like interest on money, interest on investment in inventory, obsolescence losses, rental charges, insurance premium, deterioration loss, pilferage, theft, spoilage. All these will come under carrying cost. But is it easier to calculate what is the loss of obsolescence? What is the loss of pilferage? What is the loss of deterioration? It's difficult to calculate. Next one is the EOQ model assumes that the annual demand can be estimated in advance. In many situations, our annual demand simply cannot be predicted with accuracy. So here EOQ requires the annual demand, the forecasted annual demand, the predicted annual demand. But this prediction may not be accurate. For example, next year, how much quantity of material is required for production? But it is not accurate. It may fluctuate. There is uncertainty attached with future. So it is difficult to forecast, to accurately forecast the requirement of material. Next one is, in EOQ model, it is assumed that all the inventory which is ordered arrives simultaneously. In many cases, however, it may not be true because the vendor delivers the order in partial shipment or in portions. See, one of the assumptions is whenever we give the order, purchase order to the supplier, the purchaser immediately will supply the goods without any loss of time. That means there is accuracy in replenishing the stock. But in reality, it may not be so. Sometimes the vendor, the supplier may delay the supply of material. Sometimes he will supply the material in portions or different shipments, not in one lot. So in this way, this is also one of the limitation. Next one of the assumption of EOQ model is that replenish time is equal to 0. That means immediately we can be able to replenish the stock. But in reality, to replenish the stock, the purchase manager has to evaluate from different suppliers. He has to get the quotation. He has to screen the quotation to find out from which supplier we have to purchase the goods. So sometimes replenishment will take some time. It's not instantaneous. This seldom happens as vendors take some time to supply the material. That's all. So in this video, I have explained you about what is EOQ, what is the formula for EOQ, what are the costs involved in EOQ, what are the assumptions of using this EOQ model, and what are the limitations of this EOQ. Very frequently in examination, they will ask you the theory question regarding this EOQ. So watch the videos 2-3 times, definitely you'll get a good command on this concept. And apart from that, this EOQ, we have so many problems to be solved in the coming videos. So inshallah, we'll take up the next topic in the next video.